Hi, today we're going to take a look at the Cherry Mobile Alpha Morph. Now this is a tablet stroke laptop in one. So why is this considered a laptop stroke tablet? Well, right now it has the keyboard and it looks like a regular Windows desktop, but if you pull the screen off, you can see it's now a touchscreen Windows tablet. So I can touch here and it's like that. So it's kind of a two-in-one. You have the portability and the option of touchscreen, or you can plug it in and use it as a regular laptop with a trackpad and a keyboard. Now as you can see, it comes installed with Windows 8.1 and you can upgrade it to Windows 10 for free. As soon as I turned it on, it said, do you want to upgrade to Windows 10? So that's pretty good. It has a 10.1 inch IPS screen, so what that means is that even at different viewing angles you can easily see the screen. Now bear in mind that I've got camera light shining on me at the moment, so the screen might not seem so bright, but when I bring the camera closer in a minute you'll be able to get a better idea of how good the screen is. It's a pretty powerful little machine. It has a Intel Atom CPU inside, quad core, and 2 GB of RAM, so it's pretty well spec'd, especially considering the size. It has a 32 GB solid state storage inside, so it's not that big on the storage, but it's not really meant to be loaded up with movies and things like that. You could always use an external USB flash drive or something like that for your big files. It has a 8,000 milliamp hour battery, which it's okay. It's not amazing, it's not awful. Under heavy use you're going to look at around 2 to 3 hours. For instance, if you were streaming YouTube videos, constantly streaming them or something like that. For more general use like web browsing, Word documents, Excel files, that kind of thing, you're probably looking at anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. It has a front and rear camera, which is good if you want to do Skype calls or something like that, where you can see them and they can see you. 2 megapixels front and rear. Not the best quality cameras, but they're okay for video chat and things like that. As for connectivity, it has Bluetooth 4.0, it has Wi-Fi, BG and N, but it's only 2.4 GHz. It doesn't support the newer 5 GHz networks. So that's a quick overview. Let's bring the camera closer and take a close-up look at this thing. So here's the Alpha Morph up close. I'll just turn it around so you can get a full 360 look. You can see how the case folds together to make a stand. If I put that down, we can unfold this. And there you go, it's ready to be transported. And then we want to use it as a stand. We just unclip it. It is magnetic along here, and then let it go like that. Bring up the screen, and there you go. If I remove the screen, you can see here these are the pins where it connects, and it just plugs in there. The keyboard itself is okay. It's kind of small, but I can type on it pretty quick. The trackpad is not great. There's no individual left and right mouse click. They have this weird setup here where you hold function and press this. That's a left click. Hold function and press this. That's a right click. Kind of sucks. But you can also just tap to left click and use 2-finger tap for a right click. So I would kind of forget about that. That's just awkward. Let's put the screen back on the dock. There you go. Now it is touchscreen, of course. Works very well. Let's go to our desktop, and there you go. Let's check some viewing angles. Like I said, I do have video lights here, so I don't know how well this will translate to video, but you can see even at sort of extreme angles, you can still see the image quite easily. If we look on the side here, we can see what ports it has. We have the power button, we have headphone jack, HDMI out or mini HDMI, so you can plug it into your TV. You can plug in your micro SD card here. Now one thing you'll notice is missing here, there's no USB port. Well, this is a USB OTG port. You plug in this adapter that they give you, and then that lets you have a full-size USB port, so you can plug in USB flash drives, headsets, anything really that's USB, although it won't be able to power up an external spinning hard drive. Next to the OTG port, we have our power input. Now this is 5 volts up to 2 amp, and it's really strange that they decided to use a barrel jack, because they could have just put a micro USB port here, and then you could have charged it with any USB charger that's capable of pushing out 2 amp. So this is the charger. You can see that it's got a barrel jack. but it is rated, like I said, 5 volts 2 amp, so they could have just made it a micro USB cable. I have here a Anker portable battery, portable power pack, and a USB cable which has a barrel jack, just a regular USB cable, and you'll see that if I plug it in I can actually charge the Alpha Morph. So let's plug it in, turn this on, and there you go. You have a charge light. I don't know how easily you'll be able to see it on the camera, but there's a charge light in there. Can you see it shining blue? And if I zoom in on the screen, you can see that it shows that it's being charged. So you can actually charge it from external battery banks as long as you have this little USB to barrel jack cable, which is pretty interesting because that allows you to easily extend the battery life of your Alpha Morph. Now unfortunately I'm actually going to be sending this back for a replacement because there's two problems. Let me show you. Firstly, they put a screen protector on here, but there's something stuck under the screen protector there. There's also, like, I don't know if it's a scratch or if it's just been put on poorly there, so that's not great. But the bigger issue, and I don't know how well this will show up on camera, but the bigger issue is that there is a bulge here. The screen has actually come unstuck from the main body, or it was never stuck down properly. If I plug it in, you'll be able to see that easier. So let me plug in the power charge. You can see the charging LED through there. So you can see there's really a problem with this. So I don't know how this got through quality control, because obviously that's a big issue and most likely that's going to spread until eventually the screen comes off completely. So I am planning to send this back for a replacement. But as for the machine itself, I'm very happy with it, and you know how strong it is. It's just that it's got this defect, you know, a big defect there, and they've been really sloppy putting on the screen protector. So you can see now I'm using the mouse pad. I can also just tap, but if I use the mouse, let's try and open up Internet Explorer. Let's go to Google. See, it's pretty quick and I can type pretty quickly. Let's go to YouTube. Now, of course, the highest resolution that we can stream is 720, since this screen is only a 720 screen. You can see that my typing isn't perfect on this keyboard. I expect it would take a little bit of practice, but you know, it's good enough. I can do okay. So let's try stream a video. It's set to 720. Let's go full screen. So you can see that plays without any issue. You do have some options here about controlling the volume. You can see that the volume is going down. You can also do brightness. You can go page up, page down. So the keyboard shortcuts are actually pretty useful. You can also just swipe, of course. Now, this isn't going to be a huge review where I test it out with, you know, different games and different websites and, you know, different software. It's just a really quick look at this because I wanted to share it. You know, I got it for myself and I wanted to share it, especially because it seems to operate quite well. Now we're going to test out the camera. So it has a front and rear camera. This is the rear camera. You can see it's kind of zoomed in because they're only there, but look how close it looks. As for the picture quality, it's okay. Let's see how it does up close. Oh, it does very well actually. Up close, that's pretty good. Let's try on this, see how well it can focus. Okay, sorry, I mean this isn't the best test because I'm trying to lean over my camera and record this, but it does okay. Front camera is the same basically. They're both 2 megapixel cameras, so the cameras are actually okay. They're not great. You won't be shooting any, you know, awesome videos on it, but it does okay. For anyone wondering how much this costs, I've seen them online anywhere from around 7,000 to 13,000. So it really depends on the kind of promos that Cherry Mobile or the sellers are running. Now I got lucky because I bought this in a flash sale at Lazada, and it only actually cost me around 5,000. So pretty good price for something this powerful. If you have any specific tests that you want me to perform with this, just put it in the comments section and I can always make a follow-up video. This is really just a quick one to give you a quick overview of this Cherry Mobile Alpha Morph and how well it works. So far I've been pretty impressed. Here you can see that I plugged in a mini HDMI cable going to a bigger monitor, and I've got them set up as separate displays at the moment, so I can use this one, or I can transport the mouse over here onto the big display, and then I could use this one. So the mini display port output actually works really well. So I hope you enjoyed watching the video and found it helpful. It's a pretty good laptop, especially for the low price. For some people it won't be quite powerful enough, and they might find the keyboard a bit cramped and the screen not quite big enough, so it might not be a laptop replacement for many people. But for many people this could actually probably serve for their everyday use, the basics of web browsing, Excel files and that kind of thing. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section down below, and if you enjoyed it, please give a thumbs up and subscribe.